Hi everyone, I'm Carol Keller, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Antioch, Illinois in the United States, coming to you today with the second of my two videos that are part of my Suite of the Month for July 2021. The Suite of the Month is a program where if you purchase the suite from me by the end of this month, I will send you the components to make both projects that are featured in the Suite of the Month. Just as an FYI, I also have a couple of other projects that I made with the parts of the hand pen suite, and you can find those on my hand pen playlist. So look for those extra bonus videos as well. Now I'm going to turn my camera around so that we can get started with today's project. Here is today's project. As you can see, it uses 5 of the Designer Series papers from that hand pen Designer Series paper pack. And it also has some more of the major one, or the main one, on the envelope and on the inside of the card. And I'm going to put it aside so we can get started. I'm starting with a Blushing Bride card base. Then I'm just going to burnish with my bone folder so that it will lie flat. And it's half of an A2 card, or if you're an A4, half of an A4 card. And I pre-cut my first layer of Designer Series paper. This is 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches, or for an A4 card, 10 centimeters by 14.4. And I'm just gonna pull in my Stampin' Seal. And the paper does seem to be a little bit directional. Depends on the section you're working on, but take a look at it before you put it down. Oh, and before we do put it down, we have to add our ribbon. So I'm using soft Succulent Open Weave ribbon, and I'm just going to put it on with a glue dot on each end, working off the roll as I normally do. And I'm putting it right in the center. And just feeding it to the back. Now we will put it on the card front. And for the next part, I have cut 3 pieces of cardstock, Pale Papaya, Mint Macaron, and Saffron. And these are all 1 1/2 inches by 3 inches, or 4 centimeters by 7.5. And I've also cut several of the Designer Series papers. These are at 1 3/8 by 2 7/8, or 3.5 by 7 centimeters. And I'm going to put those on also with my Stampin' Seal. This one's a little crooked, so I'm going to adjust it. I like that with the Stampin' Seal, you do have a little bit of wiggle room. Turn it sideways so I can see the edges better. That's better. And then all I did was place them, starting with the ones on the ends, and then the one in the middle. And just making sure they're fairly centered, especially this one, the middle one, the center one. And then I'm just going to put Stampin' Seal on the back and place those. So putting this on last means you can make sure that it's centered in both directions. And then I am going to put a glue dot underneath the ribbon to hold it in place. Just using my fingernail to grab it, because we want that to be anchored, and you'll see why in a moment. And then the next thing we're going to do is bring in a 1 inch or 2 1/2 centimeter strip of the pattern, another of the pattern papers, and we're going to stamp on this. We're going to stamp Feel Better Friend and Blushing Bride. Centering it as best we can. I can from top to bottom so that it will fit in the punch. This one you really can do either way. You can stamp first and then punch, or punch first and then stamp, but you want the 1-inch strip so that you don't waste your cardstock, because you can just slide it right into the punch and make sure it's centered and then punch it out. And when I did this card, I did it the other way. I punched first and then stamped. So like I said, it works either way. And then I'm going to take a scrap of Blushing Bride cardstock, and I'm just going to punch out the larger scalloped oval. And then again, put this on with Stamp and Seal. And before we adhere this, we're going to use dimensionals to put it on the card. But before we do that, we're going to bring that ribbon in again and just create a little loop and cut the ends at an angle. Put a glue dot in the center to hold them together. And then a couple more on the back to hold them onto the card base. Right about here at an angle. And we're going to bring in our dimensionals. Peel the backings off and then place this also centered over this middle panel. And next I have a strip that I have used the scalloped edge from the hand penned dies, and I have a strip that is 2 inches wide, or it would be 4 centimeters wide. And this is just a scrap, so I know it's long enough for the inside of the card, and I'm going to use the rest on the envelope. And for the first card, I did it the whole length, 4 1/4 inches, which would be 10.5 centimeters. But I think I'm going to cut it down like I did the card front, so I'll have a little longer section to use on the envelope. So I'm going to cut it at 4 inches, and we'll kind of see what that looks like. That will leave me a little longer strip for the envelope. Again, just using my Stamp and Seal. And so this time I'm going to bring it in a little bit so it's got a border all the way around. And that's the inside of my card. And the scrap that's left over for the envelope is a little bit longer than what I had initially, which is what I was hoping for. And I'm going to do the same border. So that way the borders are equal. And again, it was a scrap that I had just from cutting, but certainly I can give you the dimensions. So this is just a shade over 4 inches long. And if you're working in centimeters, you want it to be either 10 or 11 centimeters long. 11 would be, I presume, the length of the envelope, and 10 would be more like this. So if you are cutting them exactly, that is what your measurement would be. And then last but not least, we've got some bling. So I'm using the Genial Gems from the suite, putting them on with my Take Your Pick tool. And for this one, for this card, I used 2 of the Pale Papaya gems and 1 of the Mint Macaron, but I think I'm going to use all the Pale Papaya because they provide better contrast, I think, to the greens that are already here. I think we'll put one here and another large one up here and a small one. And there we have it. There's our card, our second card for the suite of the month. Next, I'm going to show you the components that come in the suite. Here is where you will find the hand pen suite in the catalog on pages 104 and 105. And the suite consists of 4 different items. The first is the hand penned Petals photopolymer stamp set, which means it is clear, so it makes it easy to get good placement. And the companion penned flowers dies, which together constitute a bundle, so you can purchase them at a 10% discount. Here is what the dies look like once they've been cut out. 3 of them cut out 3 of the images in the stamp set, and the rest are companions to that. Next, we have our gorgeous hand-penned designer series papers. Beautiful florals. I love the color palette. And as always, there are coordinating colors and patterns on the backside that are more neutral. And last but not least, we have our Genial Gems, which come in 2 sizes and 2 colors, Mint Macaron and Pale Papaya. And they have some beautiful flecks of gold throughout both of them, so they add a lot of sparkle to your project. And those are the components of our suite. All right, so again, thanks so much for joining me today. I hope you like the projects, and if you are interested in Suite of the Month, the details are in the description. I do have other videos using the hand-penned suite on my YouTube channel. You can find it on the hand-penned playlist, so do feel free to check those out in addition to the 2 videos for Suite of the Month. Thanks again for joining me, and I will see you again soon. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.